And women don't tend to go into jobs that force them to physically do stuff. They're not electricians. They're not plumbers. They're not millwrights, right? They don't go into being HVAC technicians. They're not police officers. And if they are, they get their ass kicked a lot of times. You know, they're not the physical. They're not linemen. They're not repairing lines. They're not heading out to the hard hit areas of hurricanes in order to put up electrical lines back again. So they're not doing those jobs. They say that they want them, but they don't do those jobs. So when you start to think about technology taking more of these jobs or having an impact of what happens inside of society, they are going to be the ones that are the most affected.
The AI takes these women's jobs. You think that like a lot of the women are going to go opt to be second wives to men or second girlfriends, that sort of thing publicly?
They already are.
Yeah.
Now they're just starting to be a lot more. There are women that prefer to be the side chick than to actually be the married woman. And
yeah, it's
so
less
now
of a responsibility, right?
I don't think that women, here's the caveat. It's not that women don't already accept the roles that they're playing in men's lives. I think it's more or less about men not necessarily caring to hide the fact that I want a second woman, or I can afford a second woman, or I am man enough to be able to handle a second woman in their lives. And so men are becoming more bold. Men are becoming a lot more matter of fact in their stance about how they live their lives and what relationships look like, especially when they are super successful, and especially if they're heterosexual men. I don't think that these guys are so worried about what other people think, or that they necessarily care about whether or not people are going to say that they are or they aren't a good person. I think it's going to become more acceptable because men are very matter of fact about how they live their lives. So it's not that women are already doing it. It's not that the girl that's a side chick don't already understand that he has a man. I'll go one step further for you. I believe that men that are in relationships or men that are married are much more desirable to the mass of women than men that tend to be single. If you are a married guy, if you are a married guy that is super successful, forget about it. You're going to have all kind of women that shooting their shot all day long. 100%.
I've noticed women in their 20s tend to like fight this and say they won't accept it, but it seems like the women I know that are opting for side chick or like accept that sort of thing, they seem to be in their 30s. Is that what you've seen or no?
I think that they're of all ages.
Yeah. Well, I've noticed like
through 60.
See, I've noticed that the younger ones, if they're like a side chick, they tend to just be like it's more transactional, like sugar baby.
Correct.
Yeah, like that sort of thing where they're not really vying to be there long term. It's just like take my money for now. But I've noticed that women in their 30s that tend to do it, they're kind of more in it for the long term. I don't know. You could see other things, but
the dream has died in the 30s. The dream is dead, so now they have to take what they can get.
And I'm telling you, listen, women just want stability at this point. They want stability, they want freedom, and they want to be comfortable just being whatever it is that they feel like they're meant to do. They want to be able to comfortably discover themselves without suffering. I think that there's a lot of women that just went through a lot of suffering. They're like, hold on, I'm ready to tap out. This is good. This is a little too rough for me. So I see, man, I'm telling you, women, they don't have, I think that they still are picky a little bit, but the thing that they pick, they're willing to compromise if he's already kind of taken.
It's actually crazy, just in my like 3-4 years of doing this job, how much more polygamy has come out in the open than like I remember when I was first exposed to this content like 4 or 5 years ago, one of the first streams I saw of Kevin Samuels was like high value men cheat. And at the time I thought that was so absurd. I was like, no, that's not true. It's exactly true.
They don't cheat, they just exercise their options.
Yeah, correct. Well, yeah, correct. But
I don't think that most of those guys, most high value guys, they're productive. So I don't think that they have a whole lot of time to be focused on women. They're not guys that are out hunting for women. They're not chasing. They're not trying to figure it out. They're not trying to spit game. That's not what it is. These are just guys that naturally move about life being productive, that is very noticeable based off of the fact that they are high value and very productive people. So women that are in those spheres notice them and they shoot their shot. Women are shooting their shot. If you are a really great guy, if you speak well, if you are productive, if you are on a trajectory of even more success based off of what you're producing now and where your life is going, you don't have to shoot your shot no more. Those days is over.
Yeah, you're even seeing women making like content of, and not to say that content's real life, but to some extent, right? But you'll see them like making content, shooting their shot and stuff. What is this username? Pooping While Standing says, women don't wake up until they're 30 plus, epiphany. Have you noticed, though, the one challenge you get is when high-performing men don't have a lot of social skills, they tend to become targets. Have you seen that?
high value men don't have. I think that high value men tend to have more social skills than guys that don't. I don't even think that it.
No,
matters.
I said high earning. Well, I mean,
Oh, high earning men.
I mean, you see that a lot with
high earning men
engineers.
tend to be more productive though. They don't tend
Yeah.
to be spending a lot of time doing the things that they don't shoot DMs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're not on apps swiping left and right. These are guys that are out and about and they taking care of business. Most of the time they work 7 days a week. They're really out building, they doing stuff, they meeting people, and they don't tend to sleep a whole lot, right? So these are guys that are truly focused on their purpose, and all of the things of what success it looks like come with them. And a lot of times that also, the biggest problem with high value men is that they have too many options and they have to actually determine who is worthy of being in their presence and who is not. And that's not even from a relationship perspective. That just comes from people that are around you. That comes from your network. They have a difficult time sometimes saying no because they feel an obligation based off of the fact that they have become so successful.
How do women afford their lifestyles when they make less money, they have kids out of wedlock, and they have jobs that are volatile, and they're the first to get laid off?
How do they afford their lifestyle? They don't. They suffer. They suffer, and they just make, listen. Everything that you think is happening based off of what is being presented to you on social media is a lie. Social media is 85% lie, 10% truth, 5% variable. That's it. And when you see these women, listen, the same women that are sitting there and then when they get their hair done on a Thursday or a Friday and they got their lace front done and all of this stuff and they got their hair and their nails done or whatever, they got $43 in their bank account. And the minute that they heard that Trump was making adjustments to food stamps, they did another TikTok. And they right after that, they was talking about how it is that they mad about Trump is changing the food stamp benefits, right? So this is all perspective. It's all finesse. It's all a mirage, right? The women that I tend to see complaining the most, whether it be in the chat or whether it be on social media, those are the ones that are suffering the most. They're not happy with themselves. And so when you say, how can they afford their lifestyle? They day by day, check by check, opportunity by opportunity. There are women that are literally, I don't know if you've ever been on this part of TikTok, for example, Pearl, but have you been on 3 or 4 Talk?
Yeah. Yeah, we did
There
a
are women
reaction
that
to
are
them.
selling themselves.
So
TikTok
many.
has now devolved and becoming a new back page.
Oh my gosh, that's so, same with Instagram. Yeah.
It's a dating app. It's not an app to like show your kids or, hey, listen, stay in touch with family.
Hey,
TikTok is
these mothers have to thirst trap with their kids, Anton.
They are selling themselves. They are promoting themselves. They are not it's not secretive. They suffering. They living in their cars. There's more women becoming homeless every single day. They not messing around. They are doing what they got to do to survive. And ultimately it comes back to a lot of times, ironically enough, they go back to the core of when it's all said and done, I know that I got something in between my legs I can sell in order to continue to survive.
The universal credit card, they call it.
Yeah, 100%.